But he doesn't understand that it doesn't have to be listed, not to be disparaged. I think Jack Conway will have to run hard and fast away from the policies of President Obama. I don't think he can run fast enough. We've had one little skirmish. We were in Louisville 2 days ago before the judge executives. We pointed some of these things out. And I pointed out that the most disastrous economic policy you can have in the middle of a recession is to raise taxes. If the Bush taxes are let to expire in January of next year, it will be equivalent to the largest tax increase in our history. Where is Jack? Where is Jack on this? Right now, the estate tax is 0. I kind of like that. That was something George W. Bush did that was good. I figured you pay taxes your whole life and you got to pay again just for dying. Jack Conway, we finally got him to come out with a position. He's been hiding and raising money in San Francisco from his trial lawyer, plaintiff lawyer, personal injury lawyer friends. But he came out with a position. He's for bringing the estate tax back. Wow. He says, like a lot of things he's going to say, well, I don't want the whole thing back, just part of it. I don't think any part of paying a tax for dying should happen in our country. I read a story the other day of a farmer who had saved his whole life. He started out as a janitor, he worked in construction, saved his money, was successful, had his own business, and in the end had enough assets to have $1.3 million. A lot of that was land. You can have that much land in our country and still not be a rich person, because your average annual income is not enormous sometimes, even with land that's valued that way. And it only maintains its value if your family can keep it when you die. The thing is those who are barely into this category are those who don't make plans like the super wealthy. The super wealthy will have trusts and they will have the money obscured to avoid the estate tax. It's the people like, you may not think you're rich in this crowd, but there will be some in here who have a house and some property and will have $1 million in assets and still consider themselves to be middle class and wondering why the government should get half of it when you die. We have to get our policy out there. We're not going to get a lot of help from the newspapers. All right, that was an understatement. I can probably agree. But we must present our message. We must articulate it. We must not let them describe who we are. We must describe who we are. We cannot let them characterize us. There has been a concerted effort since the Tea Party began to rise, since my victory, to paint us as something we are not. There is nothing about our movement that is really outside of any kind of mainstream. Now that may upset people because you don't want to be part of the mainstream thing. You are part of the mainstream. What is extreme is a $2 trillion deficit. What is extreme is a $400 billion interest payment. That's what's extreme. What are we for? Well, I can tell you what I'm for, and you can decide if that's what you're for. I'm for term limits. They want to say we're just extreme right-wing Republicans. Poll term limits. I defy them to poll term limits. I defy them to poll term limits with Democrats only. And tell me what percentage you get. 70 to 80% of Democrats and Republicans are for term limits. A balanced budget amendment. I defy them to balance the budget amendment and to poll that question with Democrats and Republicans. These are mainstream reform issues. Read the bills. I'll bet you that one polls at 90% in both parties. I propose they wait 1 day for every 20 pages. That'd keep them busy for a while. The health care bill came out 2,500 pages, and Nancy Pelosi said, you'll learn about it over the next 6 months. I talked to insurance agents, and they're still trying to figure out what's in the bill. Your congressman has no idea what's in the bill. They don't read them. I say that Congress shall pass no law that they don't apply to themselves. Those who want to paint us as extremists, I defy them. Go out and poll those questions. Find out what the American public wants. Find out why we won an enormous victory in the primary when no one expected it, because the message resonates that people are sick and tired of an overreaching government, of a deficit out of control. They want their government back. It will not be easy. I'll give you an example. A week ago, I was at a tea party in Shepherdsville, and I made an analogy. Now, there may need some people need some help as to what an analogy is. Not in the crowd here, but some of those who write. I said that cash for clunkers and stimulus checks reminded me, or were like in some ways, to bread and circus in the era of the Roman Empire. They were given to the mob to distract you, but they weren't useful. They weren't useful for their economy. And giving you $250 and telling you to go to the mall. Everything will be okay. Spend your money. Spend your way to prosperity. Borrow some more money from China, and here's some more money. Go spend it. We know that that's a wrong-headed idea. We know in ourselves that you cannot borrow your way to prosperity, and yet the media comes to me and says, you think we're Rome. You think we're dying. You think we're at the end stage. You're an Armageddon. You're an end-of-the-world type. And it's like, it's an analogy. That is what we face, though. And it will be a close election. Because right now, people say, you stay on your message, but don't let them get you distracted. Well, the only way we control the message is when we buy advertising. So until we start buying advertising, the message is controlled by the other side. But there is another group of people. There is another estate. This is the Tea Party. You spread the word among your neighbors and your friends, and we can beat the entire lot of them. It will take a lot of work. Senator Bunning won a couple times, just barely the first time, by 6,000 votes out of a couple of million. Senator McConnell won 52-47, spending $22 million. We're not going to have that kind of money to raise, or not be able to raise that kind of money. We will raise several million, but it's going to take the effort of individuals like yourself who will come out in the hot sun like this on a day like this. So I hope you will help me. There are victory offices here at the Republican headquarters. There's going to be victory offices in Lexington and in Louisville and in surrounding counties. I hope you will help me. With your help, I think America's best days lie ahead, and I will do my best for you. Thank you.
Randy broke my stand. Awesome. He is wonderful. I cannot